I want to talk about boldness, having boldness in our faith and boldness in our testimony of Jesus Christ. There's a C.S. Lewis quote I'm going to reference related to boldness and courage. The quote goes like this: "Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point, which means at the point of highest reality." Okay, so he says that courage is not only one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. So let's break this down. What does this mean? Man, I love this quote and the message behind what C.S. Lewis is saying. He's saying that courage isn't just another moral quality that we can possess, such as honesty and kindness and patience. He's saying that courage is something deeper than those things. He's saying that courage acts as the backbone or the activator of all of the other virtues. And when he says, but the form of every virtue at the testing point, like every virtue sounds noble when things are easy. For example, honesty, when the truth doesn't cost you anything, is easy. Faith, when life is going well, can be viewed as easy. Generosity, when you aren't really giving and everything's financially comfortable, seems easy. But when those virtues are actually tested, like when being honest could cost you your job, or being generous means actually having to show personal sacrifice, like that's when courage becomes essential. And then when he says, which means at the point of highest reality, courage is at the point of highest reality. That highest reality that he's talking about there is the real proving ground of the virtue. That's when the rubber meets the road. That's when you don't just say that you believe it, but you actually have to live the thing out under pressure. So without courage, all of those other virtues just remain theoretical. But courage is what, and listen to this, hear this out. Courage is what transforms conviction into action. Courage is the thing that transforms conviction into action. So C.S. Lewis here is saying courage is not just another good trait to have. It's the strength that allows every other good trait to actually work when it matters most. Anyone can be virtuous when it's easy, but it takes courage to stay virtuous when it's costly. Courage is like the fire that reveals whether your values are real or if they're actually just lip service. So I'm going to talk about Acts chapter 4, verse 29 real quick, and I encourage you to read a little bit before and after this verse, but I'll leave you with this verse. Acts chapter 4, verse 29, it says, "Now, Lord, consider their threats and enable your servants to speak your word with great boldness." And he's talking about Herod and Pontius Pilate and them meeting together with the Gentiles and the people of Israel to conspire against Jesus' servants. And he's saying, hey, Lord, it's your power and your will that had decided all of this beforehand, is what he says in verses 27 and 28. And because, you know all things, Lord, consider their threats and enable the servants of Christ to speak God's word with great boldness. I just want to live a life that is actually courageous and not just theoretical. And I can sit behind this screen and talk all day long, day 281 today. But sometimes I get tired of, I do want to think, and I actually like to think that I do live this outside of these videos. I show good boldness. There's absolutely room for improvement, but sometimes I get tired at all of just talking and just want to go show the action, be about the action. So it's so much more than just these videos or just showing up to a church service in an actual building. It's like being the church. It's going beyond the walls and being a people that actually follow Christ amidst the controversy, amidst the hate, amidst the persecution. I want to be a person that is actually courageous. And in order to truly be courageous, as C.S. Lewis says, it's the form of every virtue at the testing point. That is courage. It's the courage where the rubber really meets the road, and amidst the fire and amidst the pressure, you are demonstrating courage. Remember that, because we put in all this work and we try to be followers of Christ. Remember to have courage and to have boldness when the pressure's actually coming your way in life. Day 281.